Hey everyone, and welcome to Charon's Crate. My name's Fiona,
My name's Cory.
and welcome to this month's cocktail series, Azul Eterna. So, for those that don't know, Charon's Crate is a monthly cocktail crate crafted by professional bartenders and made by you at home. So, what are we going to be making in this month's cocktail?
So this month's cocktail crate is featuring a couple of ingredients that are some of my personal favorites. So for this month's cocktail, Azul Eterna, it's going to be a tequila base, and the other kind of star of the show here is going to be our handmade blueberry basil shrub. These are a couple. I am a huge agave fan. For anybody that's sat at any bars that I've been bartending, you know I love my agaves.
I think you've even fed me some.
I think I've fed you
over some time.
I think I've kind of forced some tequila on you at one point
whether
or
I liked
another.
it or not.
But what's really fun about this is using the vinegar-based blueberry and basil shrub. Shrubs are a very, very classic cocktail ingredient that were first created in 17th century England. And where these originated was that before there were modern preservation methods like refrigeration, people would store their fruits or their vegetables or produce in vinegar as a means of preservation. Now, after the produce had sat in the vinegar, obviously it was well preserved, but what was the real treat was that the vinegar had kind of extracted all the essence of the fruits or the produce that they were storing in it. And that turned into what we now know as a modern day drinking vinegar. But they would use it as just a nice refreshing tipple. So now we do use it as a cocktail ingredient, or it also makes a really, really nice ingredient for a non-alcoholic libation. You know, even just with the addition of a little bit of soda water.
Yeah, that sounds super refreshing.
It's very refreshing, and we're really excited to be using it in our cocktail crate this month.
We are on like spring forward with these flavors. I'm super excited.
Absolutely.
So what kind of cocktails are we going to be making tonight?
Well, we're going to be doing two different styles of cocktails for the proper and the elevated. So both cocktails are going to start with the same base, where we're going to be using the tequila, and then for our secondary spirit, the really bitter herbal Underberg Amaro. Then along with supporting the blueberry basil shrub, we're going to be using a ginger-infused agave syrup and some lime juice. The two different styles that we're going to be making, we are going to be making kind of a classic shrub for the proper cocktail. And then we're going to be doing a fun egg white fizz for the elevated cocktail this month.
Ooh, we're getting fancy.
Absolutely.
So what kind of garnishes are we going to be using?
So the garnishes that we're using this month are really kind of leaning into the ingredients that we've used in the cocktail. So we're going to start with pinning a dehydrated lime to the side of the rim, finishing it off with some candied ginger and then a little bit of a citrus kind of grapefruit aromatic to just really let those citrus notes pop out of the cocktail this month.
I can't wait. So let's talk about tools and techniques, and let's get into making some cocktails.
Absolutely. So we're going to be setting this up as if we were going to be doing just a classic shake. Now, with the shrub, it's kind of a very delicate ingredient. So we're going to be using a new technique this month called a throw for the proper cocktail. And the reason that we do a throw is because if we do a shake, that dilution that we get from the shake is going to over dilute the shrub, and we're going to really lose the punch from that shrub. But if we stir it, it's going to stay a little bit too viscous. We're not going to get the air into the cocktail for the kind of lighter profile, a little bit more airy mouthfeel. And so we have this happy middle ground called a throw that we're going to show you how to do tonight.
Nice. So it'll be like almost like chilling the cocktail.
Absolutely.
So what glass are we going to be starting with?
So for the proper, we're going to be using a classic old-fashioned glass, just a 10-ounce old-fashioned glass, because it's going to show this cocktail really, really well. It's going to have a really nice aesthetic to it, and just a really classic old-fashioned glass is really going to help us out with that.
Nice. All right.
What do you think? Are we ready to start making the proper version of Azul Eterna?
Let's get into it.
All right. So we are going to set this up exactly as if we were doing a proper bar shaken cocktail. So, for our ingredients, we're going to start with 1 3/4 ounce of tequila.
Tequila.
Then 1/4 ounce of the Underberg Amaro.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. A little goes a long way with this. It really does act like bitters, so we don't need much for that to make an impact. All right.
And the star of the show.
That's right. So we're going to do a full ounce of the blueberry basil shrub.
It smells amazing already. Like
It does.
Just got a hit of it. And, ooh.
And it's such a dynamic ingredient because with the vinegar and with the sweetness of the fruit and the sugar that's in it.
I get more of like a malty smell rather than like a vinegar smell off of it, just from here. So I'm excited to see how this is going to play together with all these flavors.
It works very, very well. And it's, you know, it can be a little out of the box to think of vinegar in a cocktail, but it works very, very well. So after we do the ounce of the blueberry basil shrub, we're going to do a 1/2 ounce of the ginger infused agave. And then we're going to be doing a 1/2 ounce of lime. And the reason that we can kind of go a little bit lighter on the acidic lime juice is because we do get a lot of acidity out of that vinegar.
Yeah.
So both of those elements really play into the balance of the cocktail that we're looking for.
All right.
All right.
Now for the
I'm going to
technique.
stage our glass. Yeah, so let's talk about the throw technique.
The technique.
All right, so we're going to add our ice. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing our strainer. Now I'm going to be doing this with a julep strainer. However, if you have a hawthorn strainer, this can be done with the hawthorn strainer too.
I was going to mention the strainer because I was like, it's a little different than the last one.
It is a little bit different. That just kind of comes down to personal preference. I like the julep because when in the throw, when I pour it back in, I can just go right over the strainer. So the way that a throw works is that I'm going to be bringing my top shaker with the ice and the cocktail in it, and I'm just going to start a slow pour. I'm going to let gravity kind of do the work as I bring my hands down until I get a nice long pour out of that. I'm going to pour that back over the ice, and I'm going to kind of repeat this 3 or 4 times.
That precision.
Now the reason that we're doing this is we're going to be getting the nice chill as if we were stirring or shaking. But we're also going to be introducing some air to the cocktail.
So it just kind of opens up with the flavors.
It does. It
marries them together.
Marries the flavors together. Gives it a little bit of an airier texture.
And I mean, does that not look fancy? Like,
yeah, this is a good way to impress your friends.
I think so. I think so.
All right, so we're going to do one more throw. And that's going to be our throw technique that we're doing for the cocktail when we are using a shrub. Tomato juice is another ingredient that we do if we're incorporating that into a cocktail, or some of those lighter ingredients that we still need to introduce some air to the cocktail.
But not dilute them.
But not dilute it
wash
as
them
much.
out.
Correct.
Oh, we're getting the big cubes out.
We're breaking the big cubes out. Now we could just use our standard ice as well, but we're going to go ahead and...
When in Rome.
Yeah, let's do the big cube. All right.
So pretty.
So we pour that over our large cube. And then what we're going to do, just to bring that wash line up and a little bit for the aesthetic, is top that with just a little bit of crushed ice. We're going to get the aesthetic of our dehydrated lime on the side.
Oh, pretty.
Our candied ginger pick. And just one or two real nice light spritzes of the aromatic.
So pretty. Check it out, y'all.
And that's our proper version of Azul Eterna for the month. And here's the best part.
My favorite. You guys already know. Wow. That is so good. And I am not a tequila person at all.
Sure.
But this is amazing. Like, nothing's like you get the blueberry and the basil, you get the ginger, and then that grapefruit aromatic over the top is like, it's so spring.
It is.
So spring.
It is. And that kind of the vegetal notes, a little bit of pepperiness from the tequila.
I do get that,
and along with this particular tequila, like I said, has some nice vanilla notes to it. All that really kind of plays in together within the flavor structure with the blueberry, with the basil, with the ginger, with the agave.
And I even do get that, like, the aftertaste with the Underberg in there. Just
Right.
as like,
Right.
I'm ready to kick back on a porch and get some sunshine with this one.
I think it's a great one for that. It's a great one for
perfect.
that.
Oh yeah.
Well, are you ready to make a cocktail?
I think so. I am ready.
All right. I'll tell you what, why don't you step into the pit here?
Shimmy, shimmy, y'all. Shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. We get to use the tall glass for this one.
We are going to use the tall glass for this one. So we're going to set this one up just like we did for the proper version.
All right.
We're going to set it up for a proper bar shake. But this one, where we're going to be incorporating an egg white into the cocktail, along with the soda water to do a kind of a classic egg white fizz.
Oh.
We're going to be doing a dry shake with the egg and finishing in that with a wet shake, along with a few other techniques to kind of maximize the effectiveness of that sour structure and incorporating the egg white.
I'm excited. All right. So what are we starting with?
So we're going to start this build exactly like we did for the proper version. So we're going to start with 1 3/4 ounces
All right.
of the tequila.
Pretty much our whole little bottle of
It
tequila
is.
here.
Yeah, that makes it easy with the 50 ml bottles.
Right. Then
All right, then we're going to do a 1/4 ounce of the Underberg.
right about there.
Perfect. Little goes a long way with this stuff.
It's like you
Just
can.
a big fan of that particular
Right.
spirit.
All right.
We're going to follow that up with an ounce of the blueberry basil shrub.
It smells so good. Just,
You know, it is such a fun ingredient. Shrubs, I absolutely love having shrubs behind the bar, making shrubs. They're just such a nice ingredient. They end up being very, very versatile.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like,
Yeah, for
This-
cocktails,
this
for
could even-
0 ABV cocktails.
could even go on food. I feel like it totally could. I feel like it totally could. All right.
All right, and then again, we're going to be doing a 1/2 ounce of both the ginger-infused agave.
All right.
As well as a 1/2 ounce of the lime juice. Yeah, and this is a really, really fun example of how looking at basically the exact same ingredient structures we're doing with 2 different cocktails, with tweaking just 1 or 2 things, the addition of an ingredient really changes that profile.
I'm excited to see this.
All right.
All right.
So now we add our egg white.
All right. Let's see if I can get this here.
You got this.
This is the real challenge, folks.
Oh, professional right there.
Professional.
Professional.
Ooh, that was one drop. One drop on that.
One drop.
I'm impressed with myself, you guys.
All right, so now we're going to do the dry shake. So we're going to cap this and make sure you seal that really, really well.
All right. And no ice on this one.
No ice to start with.
All right. So what kind of shake are we doing?
So this one you're just going to shake real vigorously.
All right.
All right.
Heard.
So as you start shaking this, you can kind of hear that you've got the liquid agitating within the shaker. But what we're really trying to do here is get that egg white emulsified through the cocktail with the dry shake. You're going to start to feel it get pressurized. You're going to start to hear it kind of expand within the shaker itself.
It's really making me work for this again.
Really
2
making
months,
her
2
work.
months in a row.
Hey, you're the one that gets the drink, so
I know, right?
you got to
right.
work for your food.
I
here.
mean, you know.
And the reason that we do the dry shake is if
Arms are getting tired, guys.
How's that feeling? Are you starting to get...
It is feeling more pressurized. I
Starting to feel a
can
little
feel
bit more
it.
pressurized? Good. I think that's probably a pretty good shake.
I'm trying to shake the hell out of it, guys. Ooh.
Oh, now you know it's pressurized.
She's ready now.
She's ready. Yeah, and so what you'll see is within the tin itself, you are going to see it's going to be real light, real frothy, you know, kind of a nice white foam to it. And so that's how you know that the egg white's been incorporated.
All right, and we're adding ice to this?
So now we're going to add some ice to it.
How much ice are we adding?
You know, with these cubes, we're probably going to add 3 or 4 cubes to it. And just kind of a standard scoop of ice.
All right, fair enough. One more.
Yeah. And now we can really give this a nice, solid, proper bar shake.
All right.
Because now is when we really want to dilute that a little bit more. And really bring that temperature down and continue to add some air to the cocktail. With our fizzes, we want as much air as possible. Air is our best friend with this style of cocktail.
All right. I'm excited.
Excellent.
All right.
All right.
So what kind of strainer are we going to be using for this one?
So this one, we're going to go back to our classic Hawthorne strainer, and we are using a really tightly coiled Hawthorne that's going to keep any ice particles out of it and continue to aerate the cocktail. So this one, we want to start pouring it pretty slow, and I'm going to kind of help Fiona out with this as she pours it. Now, kind of lift that up.
Got it.
Lift that up as you pour.
To bring more air into it?
We are. And so basically what we're doing with this fizz structure is as we pour, let's go ahead and bring that up some more. Just keep getting that air into it. Is we want the air that's in the cocktail to start pushing up on the foam. There we go. And we're already starting to see a nice foam kind of building on the top of that cocktail. So as she's pouring it, that's the reason I'm tapping it, is to continue to push that foam up.
Still a little love left in there, maybe?
Get all the good juice out of there.
Gotta get that extra foam. It's the
star
of the show.
You got it.
All right.
All right. And the reason that we did pour this without ice is, again, so that we can give the foam as much room to develop in the cocktail. And as we start to add the soda water to it, all the CO2 and the bubbles, as this starts to separate, is really going to push that foam and that aesthetic over the top of the cocktail.
All right.
All right. I think we are ready here.
Ready for some
Absolutely.
bubbles? And are we pouring this in there any particular way, or are we?
So we're just going to do a kind of a nice slow pour right down the center of it.
All right.
And sort of that same aesthetic right there. Okay, hold down. There we go. Now you can really see how that soda water, the bubbles are really pressing that foam straight up to the top.
That was a quick rise on that.
It really is. It really is.
Just like a freckle more?
Yeah, let's do just a little freckle more. That's a technical term, by the way.
Right.
All right. There we go.
That little cupcake foam, just that little bit.
That's right. You know, and as this cocktail sits and as these egg foams, egg fizzes sit and continue to separate, we're just going to see that foam get denser and denser and denser and really add to the effectiveness, the texture, the mouthfeel, and just the overall aesthetic of the cocktail.
It's really like...
Right. Oh, you can absolutely see
nice
that.
hard line on there.
And that's how you know that you've done it right.
Yes, guys.
And that technique for that. And it's a pretty challenging technique. It really is. But one that we love to do because of the results that we can get out of this cocktail.
I'm not even gonna lie, that's the first fizz I've ever made.
Crushed it.
I have drank a few. I have not made a few.
I think I made some for you.
In my cocktail years here.
Sure.
So are we garnishing this one, or is the foam showcasing?
Well, we are, the foam really is kind of the showcase. We are going to add a little bit of garnish to it. We're going to go ahead and, like we did with the proper cocktail, we're going to pin the lime to the side of it.
We got our little baby clips.
The little clippy clippies.
Little clippy clips. All right. So pretty.
And then we're going to finish this with 1 or 2 real light spritzes over the top. Right. Now we want to make sure that we're staying a little ways away from that.
Just because not disrupt the foam.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Perfect.
Ooh, now the best
Excellent.
part, guys.
That is a fantastic looking fizz, Fiona. Well done.
I'm proud, guys. I'm so proud.
Well,
now the best part.
Now the best part.
So it's so crisp and like it's refreshing. Like you still get all the notes that you did with that one, but it's like a little bit more dialed back, a little bit more just light, more arid.
It really is.
Yeah, the foam really like plays into that, just like it's like a what is that, meringue? Is it meringue?
Yeah, it is. And you know that's kind of the concept with that egg white. You know, if we continued to agitate it, if we continued, you know, to add air to it, and with that egg white, it would start to form into a meringue style.
That was good. That was good.
Absolutely.
I was like,
well done on your first fizz, and hope everybody has similar success with their fizzes.
Enjoyed my technique this evening.
Absolutely.
Well, that wraps up our March cocktail crate series. We'd like to give a big thank you to La Bodega and to everybody for their love and support. Like, we wouldn't be here without you guys. Also, some fun news. La Bodega is opening up a downtown store.
They do. They're opening up a new location.
K Street. So that's super exciting.
That's right. They're right on 7th and K in downtown Anchorage. So please go check out their new spot. We're so excited for them and so excited to continue this amazing partnership with them.
Yeah. And don't forget, when you're making your cocktails, share them with us. We want to see your guys' success and the fun things that you reinvent with all the extra garnishes that you're left over with. Like, we're on all platforms at Charon's Crate. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that like button for us. And we'll see you next month.
Cheers. Folks.